Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. We are live on CTV and Talk City 91.1 FM, streaming live on ctvtt.com. Feel free to drop us a line on our various social media platforms. We'd be more than happy to hear from you. Remember that CTV and Talk City 91.1 FM, we are your stop for Carnival 2018. And as we continue with all things Carnival, we will be chatting with band leader Frolic Central from all the way in Tobago. Good morning, Miss Aviann Gordon. How are you doing?
Good morning, I'm fine, thank you.
All right, so I understand that you're the band leader for Frolic Central. How would you describe Frolic Central? What is Frolic Central?
Frolic Central is laid back, creative. Like to please the players. It's not just about carnival, but all about designing, creating different stuff.
So designs. You're a designer, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you are known for your ability to create unique designs. What is unique about your design? What do you bring to the table that others may not really seem to have, or that ability to portray?
Well, first of all, I don't compare myself with anybody. And when you see I doing my designs, it's more or less about how I feel, and it's all about expressing myself. So
what do you try to express through your designs?
Basically, it's all about self-pleasure, Frolic Central, where carnival is concerned. And, well, I'll talk more about, like, this year. Last year, I had certain experiences, and I took a little while to put together the ideas and the designs what I had to do this year. But it more or less depicting what Aviann is about, open-minded, creative, taking trash and make treasure. So
taking trash to create treasure. I like that. So what were some of the materials you used for this particular design for this year?
I used dried fern. Most of the beads, the wooden beads I used, was stuff that I used from years before. This headpiece that I have here have a lot of braided fabric, rhinestones, and wooden beads.
That's quite beautiful. What type of feathers are we looking at?
No feathers. I try my best to stay away from feathers because, one, it's very expensive.
So those are branches?
Yeah, dried fern, and it was dyed, separated, and put together to create this headpiece.
And you use paint to create that look?
Actually, these came like this.
Oh.
Right, but they're actually longer, so I cut and shaped to create the design.
All right. And last year's designs, how would you describe them?
Okay, last year's experience was one of Trinidad. It was my first. It was an opportunity given to me by Mr. Brown. The section I had was tornado. I did tie-dye and batik. So the experience was more or less out of this world.
And how affordable are your pieces?
Very affordable. People complain and say the price is too cheap because this year I'm using, it's $500 for the costumes. And the offer that I'm giving is that people could walk with or choose what bra, panty, swimsuit, name it, that they want to add with the costume and wear it with the designs that I have.
All right, so we're seeing some photos of some of your work there on set. Now, I understand that you were showcased in DC and Baltimore carnivals, and you're currently looking forward to expanding to the rest of the Caribbean. Can you update us on that at the moment?
DC is still in the working. I'm going back with the band that I was with, which is Ice Carnival Band. Caribbean-wise, I'm weighing my option and trying to meet people and hear what their criteria are in their country, because Tobago Carnival is totally different.
Okay, now you're an advocate for change in the way Carnival is celebrated in Tobago. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Where do I begin? Now, Aviann is a strange person, right? And what I do is, as I say, it might sound selfish, but it's self-pleasure. And what I bring to the table is an expression of me, as I said, and the reaction that people get from the work that I do is usually out of this world, because it's nothing compared to what they would usually see. Going on this year, I used African print, put together, and created something wearable, comfortable.
Okay. Now, how did you get involved in this particular industry? Was it something that you always imagined for yourself?
I love to tell this story. But one morning, I literally woke up with the feeling to bring a mask on. I called my girlfriend and I told her, she's like, Aviann, you're crazy. Just so, and at the moment of time, I was doing medical transcription. So it was something medical to something designing. And at that time, I was 23 years old and quit that job and never turned back after then. So carnival is my soul.
So this journey has been quite a pleasurable one for you, quite rewarding,
Yes,
would you say?
definitely, yes.
And how long have you been in the industry? And could you highlight some of the challenges you faced as a young designer yourself?
Frolic Central turned 12 this year.
Wow.
And some of the challenges, I think players, most of the players is people who play from me from years before. Some that I have this year or for all years before is who added one or two, not much. And I usually cater between 50 to 60 because trying to make the 100 plus is really difficult, you know, so that is where I am.
And for 2018, what would you say is particularly special about these designs that you've put out?
What is special?
Would you say the theme is quite catchy?
Yes. Anybody who know me and hear Modern Africa is Aviann. Aviann like African wear, it's natural, you know, carnival is me. So it's putting two in one and expressing that.
So that's your signature mark, that stamp of that African feel.
Yes, day to day.
Now, I understand that you have plans to expand to the rest of the Caribbean. Where are you with those plans?
Still weighing the options and still on the drawing board. I want to, really want to, but once I have a very successful carnival this year, I'll see where I'm going from there.
And where do you see the fashion industry headed in the future? Do you think it's healthy as it is? Do you think the young and upcoming designers are in a good place? Or are they struggling? Are there many challenges that you face? People still holding back in these economic times?
I would say yes. Well, in Tobago, with Carnival, it have a lot of older heads over me. I don't know how many young band leaders it have that bring in adult mass, but I think in Tobago, it has so much potential. I don't want to talk about what is wrong with mass, but because I try to satisfy my players and make sure they are satisfied and people who see my designs are comfortable and give a good response, I am quite comfortable.
And Ms. Gordon, how can we reach you? What would be your contact information?
My contact is 474-2196. I'm located at number 47 Montgrace Flats. And you can find me on Facebook at Aviann Gordon or Frolic Central Limited and on Instagram at Celica.
All right, and your closing comments, what would you like to tell our viewing audience and our listening audience?
I hope you all look for me on the road. What I could say, I'm so thankful for being here, and I'm looking forward to a lovely season in Carnival this in Tobago.
Thank you so much, Ms. Aviann Gordon, band leader, Frolic Central. Definitely a pleasure chatting with her, and all the best to you.